Yeah, warm it up. Stretch it out for the folks at home. Those are important. Those are real important. Gotta get, stretch.
Arm circles?
Arm circles, bro.
That's it?
Yeah, you gotta.
Woo! Unique New York. Unique New York. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather.
I would like a sandwich.
This does not count as a tongue twister.
Oh, you did.
I like cucumbers.
I thought we were just saying things.
I was saying things, and I was warming up my shoulders. The most useless form of exercising, these arm circles.
No one's ever said it's an exercise.
But I was gonna say,
It does loosen things.
I was
up.
gonna say it is funny because every time I go out now and watch my brother about to start working out, he's doing these arm circles, and I was like, hey, that's the one thing you got out of elementary school is arm circles. Anyway, welcome to the show, guys. I'm Kevin or Nick. This is Kevin.
I'm the other one.
Yeah, whatever this guy is. No, I'm Nick. This is Kevin. You can call him Lamb. Welcome to Two Dumb Idiots, guys. Coda Bear, welcome in here. We got some people here. We got a great show for you guys today. As always, we like to say that.
Whoa. Don't be setting the bar too high.
We have a show today.
Yes, there it is. It's a show. We will take a poll at the end, and we will ask you if it was good or not.
That's right. And the options are going to be on a 1 to 2 scale. Whether
good or great. Those are choices.
Good or great. So we have all sorts of random stuff. We're going to talk about aquariums. We're going to talk about David Blaine. We're going to talk about Steve-O. We're going to talk about Olivia Munn, maybe. We're going to talk about we're going to talk about Uber. We're going to talk about maybe Mia Khalifa.
Maps.
Maps. That's correct. We're going to talk about the maps. So if any of those things excite you, especially the maps, please hang in here, guys. We have a great show for you guys. Any shout outs to start the show, Lynn?
Yeah, I got to shout out my friend Crystal, old Chick0322. Super fancy name over there.
Wow.
I somehow assume like Twitch just auto generated that name or
Person,
something. Like, yeah,
remember?
person 6101H.
Person
But
number
Crystal,
2 million.
appreciate you following along. Hopefully you're actually watching and you hear your shout out.
That's right. Appreciate shout out Malcolm Wilson here. He's in hanging in with us today. He's gonna be our moderator, make sure nobody gets reckless in the chat. If you guys start to say something that's inappropriate, bam, slamming you guys. Banhammer, you're getting a boot. But let's go ahead and jump in, man.
Did you say your aunt?
Oh yeah, I want to shout out my Aunt Katie as well. She through her story shared it a little bit, tried to get some new people to find our show. So I appreciate that. Anybody on here that ever shares us, tells somebody about us, writes it in the sand.
Sends postcards, you know how it
yells
is.
it through a megaphone, whatever. We appreciate all of it. Just go to like a playground, just start screaming at kids. Two dumb idiots! What?
Police really appreciate it the most.
They love it. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead. We always like to start the show on a very positive note. We'd like to get we'd like to stay smiling. We like to stay happy. There's too much negativity, so we start with some good stories every time to get you guys started. So, first story I heard this week that I thought was really, really cool. I am a person that went to school for theater, so I understand the artistic drive. What's up, Chick? Welcome in here. Chick, I hate saying it. That's so weird. That's just
Crystal.
the name. Crystal. All right, it just says Chick. Sorry, Chick. Crystal, thanks for coming in here. But there was a really cool story this week about 11-year-old kid from Nigeria. We're gonna pull him up here for you guys. He was actually part. I don't know. I don't know how much of this was even listed in the story on Instagram, but he was like an 11-year-old, and he was actually part of a very, very small dance school they have in Nigeria. This guy had moved there, opened it up, wanted to do something really great for the community, and started this ballet school. This 11-year-old posted this video that you guys are watching of him dancing outside of the school in the rain, which is awesome. I just think that's
Barefoot,
really,
just killing it.
Yeah, just killing it. Actually doing a really nice job. I thought it was really beautiful. After a lady saw it from a very famous ballet school in New York, she then reached out to this and tried to find this kid. She said the second she saw the video, she said, I have to find this kid. Like, just the passion to do something like this in the rain, at that age is really, really cool. So she reached out, and they have now given this kid a full ride scholarship. Obviously, with the COVID thing, they said probably it'll be, what do you call it? Interactive.
Yeah, Zoom or online,
right,
whatever.
Some version of that. Also, though, another cool tidbit to the story was that they also reached out to the teacher that runs that school, and they offered that person a 3-week course as well before the school starts. So they said we think that what this person is doing is so incredible. We'd like to even maybe further their education for free so that they can continue to further their kids. So they said it's just a nice little pass along. They'd like to be able to say,
Love that.
Yeah, I thought that was actually a really cool little tidbit. They want to thank the teacher as well. So kind of a nice little story,
Maybe you
man.
could send them some like ballet shoes or something.
Something,
you know,
yeah.
like that'd be nice too.
I
Look,
agree.
hey, you can watch the Zoom class if you want
Yeah,
for free.
that's just I hope
Hope
it's more.
there's a little more to it.
Hope it's more than that. There you go. Hey, yo, Uncle Rick, I'm in the house. There you go. All right, Katie. We got some new people in the chat here. All right, welcome in, guys. Welcome in, Uncle Rick and Katie. We got all sorts of people coming in, so I appreciate that, guys. But yeah, I thought that was a cool story. Everybody, I think, when they were age 5, hope they got found, somehow. And this kid just was dancing for fun, and so now he gets to actually maybe, I don't know, challenge his dream with something. So I thought that was cool. The other story, what's up? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say this is kind of my
go ahead.
my
Take it.
semi-positive story. Some people may think this is a positive. I do.
In this show, though,
In this show, we focus on the positive.
we like to bash shitty companies and terrible CEOs. So in this part, it is a positive story.
Yes. This one right here. Boom. Facebook could face a $500 billion worth of fines because apparently they've been illegally collecting biometric data through Instagram.
Weird.
Yeah, it's crazy. All those apps that scan your face and put like a Santa beard on it are collecting that data.
Nuh-uh.
Weird. All the companies that actually make money by selling data about you
your-
are actually doing it.
Put your face in this app. We'll tell you what you look like 5 years from now. Bam!
Yeah.
Stole your face.
Oh, let's if you could send us like a 10-year challenge. So send us a photo of you 10 years ago and now. That'd be great.
Somebody just said Olivia. Hey, we got Olivia Munns. There we go. You don't believe it, right? Back it's breaking news, right? That they're stealing your face.
Shocking. The man with the most punchable face in America, Mark Zuckerberg, is doing something punchable work.
Yeah, that's
like,
100%
worthy.
true. Yeah, he's absolutely the most punchable guy in America. He absolutely has the most punchable face. If you're in a bar and this dude comes up and says, your girlfriend's ugly as snot, right? It's an easy punch in the face.
This is a guy that walks up to you and like you offer to buy him a drink because he's like a friend of a friend. And he's like, no, I only drink Merlot.
For sure. For sure.
Like,
That's the guy.
refuses your free drink.
Yeah.
Because it's not good enough for him.
Let me buy you a martini. He's like, what kind of vodka is it? It's like, all right, dude, you know what?
Yeah,
Never
I
mind.
know.
Never mind, dude. I'll get you some wings or something. So I only thought this was story once you told me this was
We're
interesting.
getting to it, Pat. We're getting to it. Don't jump the gun.
He's just smashing Olivia Munn over there. Fair enough.
Wait your turn,
we-
Pat.
We might smash her a little bit anyway later on because anyway,
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I only thought the story was interesting because I don't know. 500 billion seems like just like a number pulled from the clouds.
I think it's per instance.
Wow.
Like that they can prove how many users used it, and for each one they can find them X number amount.
Based on the wording of the article as well as what you told me, it seems like they were told not to do it on Facebook. Like, hey, you can't be doing this on Facebook,
Yeah.
and then they just moved that algorithm over to
You're not
Instagram.
supposed to collect the data without people knowing anyway.
Right.
That we're scanning your face.
Right. It's just another example. He's gonna come out and be like, "Hey, we're really sorry.
Oops.
We really didn't mean to."
So we'll make Instagram give you free
Real question.
ads or something.
We've seen, and like I said in the beginning of the show, we like to say positive, but we do like to bash companies that are crappy. In this era, we've seen like Wells Fargo kind of open fake accounts for people. We've watched, Facebook do some grimy. We got a lot of companies do some grimy stuff. And actually, one of our guests might come on here. He works for Schmader Joe's, and he's got some groundbreaking kind of. I don't know what you would call it, a clickbait kind of story where that actually might, kind of fire up some people, kind of about how crappy they've been to some of their employees. But in this situation, how many strikes would you take? How many things have to go wrong for Facebook? How many times do they have to get slapped on the wrist? How many fines did they have to face before you think it would actually hurt the business?
This is enough to actually hurt the business.
If they got hit with an actual 500 billion.
Yeah, if they actually got 500 billion, which they would somehow work it into like, oh, here's $12 million.
Right.
First off, 500 billion, that money should have to at least partially go to everyone who has Instagram.
Right, for sure.
During this time period.
If they broke the law and you were
and
the person that...
if they're getting fined for using that, they have to then send some of that money to those people.
Agreed. I don't think you can find somebody $500 billion and then that $500 billion just goes.
I'm not saying all of it.
Right. No, but I agree. But I'm saying that it's not like the state or right like should make that money.
But they're the ones like
right. No,
they break the law. That's who's fining them.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. That I don't think $500 billion should go to the state. I think at least half of that should go to the people that are affected by it. So I think that's a really good point, Lamb. I just. Let's say hypothetically it isn't $500 billion. Let's say they get fined $2 billion because that seems like in this world way more likely. Yeah. Let's say they have 3 or 4 or 5 more instances of this over the next like 2 years, where like every time you turn around, they're illegally capturing data. Do you think that even affects people's use of it?
Well, the thing is, they're not that worried about the fringe people that would drop off. There would obviously be people that drop off, but the people that use it are like kids and like young adults, and they're not that worried about this. Well, oh, take my data, I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of people tell that to me.
Like, so I don't think their user base, like they've ingrained themselves so much. Like you go to websites like log in with Facebook. Like it literally like asks you if you just want to use Facebook instead of an email address now.
Right.
Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. I think it's tied into a lot of things. So I think for people to stop using them would be it'd have to be a big step. I do know a lot of my friends have started to use it less and less. Some people, me personally, I've uninstalled it on my phone. That way, if I have to use it, I have to actually go sign in, which forces me to use it less. Only because I personally think it's just a really toxic environment, and
sure.
I only really post if it has something to do with the podcast. Other than that, I kind of stay away from it now. I just was curious what you thought. As a company, I feel like they're getting to the point where they're almost too big to fail. I really think they're getting to that point.
They're trying to make themselves basically a utility,
right?
Like you need Facebook,
right? And I think at a certain point, if something else comes along that's better, I think it could ride them out. I can't believe something hasn't yet, to be honest. And anytime something does, they buy it. Which is
that's the thing. And then the Congress has pulled them in and talked about monopolies and stuff like that. And
just bashing on my Redskins over there. Yeah, no, it'd just be funny.
But yeah, they have been talking about breaking up Facebook and stuff like that, and Amazon and these giant companies and. Yeah. You know, maybe someday it'll happen, but I doubt it. Maybe because they can just buy people.
Anyway, we like the idea of Facebook getting fined, so that's why it's a positive story in our book. The other positive story we have for you guys is Mia Khalifa, adult entertainer. Former adult entertainer. So she's gotten a lot of flack in the last, 6 months or a year because she came out and said she didn't make all this money, and then the company came out and said we actually did pay you a certain amount of money, and there was kind of a debate back and forth. So some people hate her.
Maybe she doesn't know how taxes work. I don't know.
Maybe, or maybe it was
somebody that was in between those two steps.
Right, correct. Maybe took some money. Regardless, I would say only for her. Like, okay, so if I'm telling a real story, the only reason I even found out about this story is because she is a fan of my hockey team, the Capitals, and she was in the bench one time cheering for a game, and she got hit in the boob with a puck. It literally broke her fake boob, right? So I love the story. I thought it was really funny, and she was talking all about how funny it was and whatever. And so I was like, hey, she roots for my team. I'll follow her. But I've since learned that she is now trying to find a way to help Beirut and Lebanon since the incident, and she decided that she was going to. These are her famous glasses from all of her shoots.
Bit of her look.
That's her look, right? And she has decided to take these frames and sell them online to try and generate revenue for Beirut and Lebanon.
And one fact that you forgot to mention, she is from Lebanon.
Oh, yeah, correct. Yeah, she's from Lebanon.
So it's not just like, she's random. Reaching out and like feels bad. No, this is like something...
She's originally from that area. She wanted to help raise some money, so she's going to auction off these glasses. Malcolm said he put his bid in already. my originally thought was like, who wants them? But I guess that immediately...
There's enough people.
Right, that immediately was squashed. Right, okay, so there's plenty
All it takes is 2 weird rich dudes that want them.
For sure. I thought...
to battle it out and jack it up.
Okay, I don't want to get too deep down this road because it is a positive story, but one of the things that people always say is like, she tries to distance herself from that career, but then she pulls something like this back. I think if you're going to pull it back, though, and you're going to use it to make donation money, I think it's the one time that it is really okay. Because she's not making this money for herself, right? Like, she's not generating, like, her only income. At that point, I would think it's kind of a faux pas. If you're using it to try and generate revenue for people that are starving, I don't really think anybody has any place to kind of shun her for that. But the bidding right now is up to $100,000.
What's up, Dan?
What's up, Dan? 1999. Go ahead and hit that follow button if you haven't. Oh, you did. All right, cool. Appreciate that, Dan. So she has, like I said, she has raised $100,000 for these shades already. It should say in like disclaimer at the bottom, like don't put these under like a glow light or anything. So okay, what does it say? She normally shows up in that big eyebrow category. Yeah, she does have some serious eyebrows. But again, she was trying to originally break the record. Apparently, a pair of sunglasses many years ago sold on eBay for $180,000. She was trying to break that for the donation. I don't know if she's actually going to reach that or not. But right now, as of now, they're selling for $100,000.
And there's also the positivity.
Right.
People know what the money's going to.
Correct.
It's not, so there is a little more of an inclination for somebody to bid on this.
Correct.
You
I
know,
agree.
you can justify maybe a purchase that your wife might not be happy about.
Right.
With,
Yes.
like, oh, it's for charity,
It's for
honey.
charity, right. Yeah, no, I agree.
Charity.
I agree. Like I said, for somebody that's already famous, for somebody that already has their own kind of celebrity spotlight, to make that kind of money is really cool. We also want to shout out The Weeknd, a nice little R&B artist. He donated $300K of his own money to this Beirut, and we also want to shout out old George Clooney put in $100,000. So got some nice people doing some nice things.
They're doling money out.
Doling money, but it is a really kind of unique way to try and donate or get money for a charity, and that kind of got our brain cooking a little bit.
Well, it made me think, what other strange items of celebrities have been up for auction?
That's right. You want to switch it back over here?
Yeah. get
Because I think my face is really important.
I would argue that the face we had up was way better.
Way more aesthetically pleasing.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm probably right.
All right, so
All right, so this category is what? You said there's odd.
so these are things that were all for charity.
All for
So
charity.
First off, and they are all celebrity items.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to take a guess. Would you like a guess, or would you like me to put a number out and you go over under?
I'll take a guess.
All right.
All right.
So,
So these are weird things that people have put up for auction to try and raise money for charity.
yes, almost all of them have not. Well, a couple of them have been done by the celebrities themselves.
You think
just for
Do
charity?
you think those were really the same shade she wore? Like, I'll get two questions. One, I mean, obviously everybody's question is like they're gross, which I totally understand. But two, like, why would she keep them? I don't know. That's just
If it's her thing or shtick, I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe.
I don't know. I
maybe.
don't know.
Anyway, go
Maybe
ahead.
she likes busting out parties. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, Justin Timberlake's half-eaten piece of French toast.
Do you know what the charity was doing for?
No.
Oh, that's really funny though. I'm gonna say, Justin Timberlake's pretty famous. I think women are gonna.
This is a little bit way back. This is like 2003, 2004.
Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna go $10,000.
It went for $3,154. So apparently this person saw Justin Timberlake at a restaurant, saw him not finish his toast, took the piece of French
come
toast,
on.
put it in like a airtight bag, and meant to keep it for themselves, but then auctioned it off and gave the money to charity instead.
All right. I was gonna say that story started off really grimy. Somebody said it's like Drew Carey wearing his glasses, even though, yeah.
Yeah, like
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Drew Carey had LASIK. I didn't actually know that either. Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. It's just kind of her look. I just didn't know if they were the real actual glasses she wore in all these shoots, or she just found another pair that looks exactly like it and just sold them.
Maybe she's got a bunch of them.
Yeah, that's probably. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. What's your signature look? You have a signature look? Confusion.
Yeah, I was gonna say sad and depressed.
Mine's just actual.
Mine's disappointment.
Yeah,
actually.
mine's just actual confusion. All right. What's another one here?
Here we go. The Katy Perry's trampoline from the California Girls video.
That's a weird collector item.
Yeah, but it was for charity.
I know. I'm just saying, like, as far as collector
Yeah.
item goes,
Yeah.
ship me that trampoline you were bouncing on.
Well, I think it was a lot of girls were jumping
We talking
up
a
and
big
down.
trampoline?
Yeah, like, it's like a
okay, not
trampoline.
like a workout trampoline.
Nah.
Okay. I'm gonna say, what year was it? Do you know?
Well, California Girls fairly new, so I'd say it's in the last 6 years.
I'm gonna say, gosh, these prices could be all over. I mean, these glasses are selling for $100K. I would say $6,000.
Very close.
Really?
$5,000.
All right.
I'll give you a horn on that
There we go. I got a horn. I'll take my own horn.
one.
What's a real? What's one cost originally?
I would guess like $800-900,
Yeah.
maybe $1,000.
Yeah, so for somebody that famous jumped on, that's a pretty good deal, right?
Yeah,
Six
it's
times
not-
increase.
still use it, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's right.
Be like jumping up and down. You know who jumped on this?
Yeah, it's-
Little party
that's
piece.
true. Have like a picture of that person bouncing on it right next to it.
This one doesn't have a price, but I wanted to put it in there because I find it interesting. Apparently, James Blunt, the singer, She's Beautiful or whatever that is, put his sister on eBay at one point before he was famous because apparently she needed to get to a funeral in Ireland.
Wow.
So he asked for somebody to provide transportation to that funeral.
That's how you lose a sister. Permanently.
Apparently, some super wealthy guy showed up with his helicopter,
Wow.
took her to this funeral, and 3 years later, they got married.
Wow. Okay, so I eat my words completely. See, I would say like the guy picks her up and then you never see her again. But yeah, it's a risk. You know?
Risk reward, I guess.
It's very, very high risk, very high reward.
Scarlett Johansson's used tissue from The Tonight Show. She was on The Tonight Show. She blew her nose into a tissue, and then they auctioned it off for charity.
It's not what I want. Used tissue. What is wrong with people? I know there's like always one, but it's always like I like to just grab that person and have them on the show and be like, "What is it, dude? What are you gonna do with this tissue?" All right, I'm gonna say that could have sold for a ton, 4,000.
Oh, again, close. $5,000.
Wow. All right, I'm just gonna stick around that range then. 4,000, 5,000 bucks for a used tissue.
Yep.
Okay, at least she's attractive, so I get like why somebody could get it. Kind of excited,
And
but
they did it specifically like for charity.
All right,
Like
fair
it was
enough.
like
Fair enough.
had some weight behind it. Justin Bieber's hair. He cut it off and auctioned it off on eBay.
wow, I would really be surprised if this goes for under 10 grand. People would pay for Bieber hair. I'm sure of it. I'm gonna say there's no way that's less than 20 grand.
$40,000.
Ah, damn, I knew it was gonna be high, dude. But freaking Bieber, man. People love the Biebs, dude. Wow,
Yeah.
that is a substantial amount. All right, for charity though.
Yeah.
Again, what are you doing with his hair for the rest of your life? Are you just gonna hang it on the wall?
Just keep it in a bag, look at it, maybe make a doll out of it or something.
I start rocking him.
Yeah, just wear it. Start putting it into your hair. Hope it, like, by osmosis gives you some
Start putting out
fame.
albums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Britney Spears used chewing gum.
Oh man. She more or less famous than Bieber
At the time, she was probably more famous because this was at the height of her fame.
right now.
Right now, no.
You don't think she's more famous than Bieber still? You don't think like worldwide there's like more?
No.
She was like
She was.
Michael Jackson.
I
for a
would
second,
say
dude.
at her height, she's higher than Bieber's ever been.
Correct.
But currently,
Okay.
he's higher than her.
Fair enough. I would say for Britney Spears, anything though, we're looking at 50 grand.
14 actually.
Oh wow, it was like 4 times over. Okay,
Yeah.
so 14, 15 grand for some
Yeah.
chewing gum.
Yep, used chewing gum.
Ugh. Again, somebody just put it in a glass box and put it on their case.
All right.
Give me one more here.
I got 2 more.
Give me 2 more.
Madonna's naughty answering machine messages and faxed love letters.
Whoa. Okay, so that's like an actual memorabilia. See,
Yeah.
I'm not paying for any of this, but I'm saying as far as things that would at least intrigue me, there's something interesting about that. I'm saying 30,000.
10,000.
Damn
Way
it.
off, bro.
Damn it. I was back on this Bieber train, you know? I thought I was going to get some money here. All right, give me one more.
All right, last one. Marilyn Monroe's chest x-rays from the doctor's office.
Okay. Some perv definitely thinks they're getting more than their access to.
Like, I saw.
It's okay.
I've seen more than any man's ever seen of Marilyn Monroe.
She showed me some nudes. Really? Well, I got her x-rays.
Yeah,
Okay.
x-rays.
X-rays.
Ain't no clothes.
That's right. So creepy. I'm going to say for Marilyn Monroe x-rays, you're looking at 8 grand.
Try 45,000.
Damn it. I know
bucks.
every time I go back down to normal prices, almost 50 G's.
Oh, boy.
All right. That's actually outrageous. Marilyn Monroe, huh? See, I'm not. Again, I think she was way, way, way before my time, but people really did idolize Marilyn Monroe back in the day. Yeah, shaved head Britney. That's what we're talking about. Like when Britney was shaving her head, she was close to like royalty. People were obsessed. All right, let's go ahead. We have so many stories today. We just thought the whole Mia Khalifa thing was funny, and we thought it was cool that she was trying to make some money with some sunglasses. But we also wondered, like, what the hell did people doing this all the time? But we also have some rapid fire stuff today. We have a lot of stories that we wanted to get to, but not as many real discussions on them, but we do want to at least cover some of these stories because some of them are really funny and enjoyable. So this is the first one for us here. This was the first socially distanced concert to be held, since COVID, and this was kind of their idea. So right off the bat, you kind of see you would need a pretty large space to make this happen.
Yeah, has to be outdoor.
Right, has to be outdoor. 2 things. Do you prefer this, and do you think that they lose some aspect of a real concert this way?
Concert, I feel like, doesn't really lose. Hey, Shadow King.
Hey, nice. New follower. Shadow King, welcome in here. Appreciate that.
So I don't think a concert loses that much
From here?
from this thing. Because if you've ever been to like a huge concert, most of those people are so far away anyway. You're watching a screen. You're not really seeing the artist.
For sure.
If this is like maybe like a stand-up show, yeah, it loses almost all of it, I feel like.
Right.
But a concert, absolutely not. I love it.
For me, though, okay, so I will say this. I like to go to the racetrack sometimes. I love watching the horses race. Love watching the horses race. I love throwing $5 on them. But they have an option there where you can spend $20 as a group and get a very small booth like this, as opposed to each just paying $5 to enter and not having a booth, right? So I love doing it. I always talk people into doing it. That way, at least you have a nice place to sit. I hate standing. It is a very wimpy complaint. I'm aware of this. But if I'm going somewhere and the entire time I have to stand, chances are I'm going to look for a place to sit, and if it's not an option, I'm probably not having as good of a time as if I could sit down, at least for me. For this is the way I want to watch a concert, right? Like, this actually would be optimal for me. The only thing that's negative is, like I said, so I went to an Eminem concert when I was young. It was like Eminem and Jay-Z, and we were all jammed in. It was like 30,000 people at this concert. There was something really special about being that close, like goosebumpy, right? Like everybody's cheering and hooting and hollering, you're banging into people. There's something very visceral about that. I think you lose that aspect. But if it's like a country concert or something,
if it's kind of more mellow, something you just want to enjoy.
Yeah. Shadow Kane, we're doing good, man. We're having a good time here. It's a beautiful Thursday. We do the show every Monday and Thursday, and me and Lamb are always in a good mood, having a good time. So appreciate you coming in. We will be back on Monday with another good show, but tune in for the rest of this one, man.
We'll get to more about that down the road.
Down the road, yes, sir.
But I really like it.
I love it. I love the idea. I think if I would watch anything like this. Really, like a couple of my own. Like we don't have to bump into people. I have my own group, my own friends.
Especially if you can still go to like maybe tents and stuff and bring things back.
Concessions?
I'm saying you get a couple cup holders in that thing.
Yeah.
Like really like it just like.
Get some speakers, drown out that boring concert.
Yeah,
music.
I know. You put up like a pop-up screen so I can watch like YouTube and stuff on there.
I'm sure they have bathrooms. Where do you use drugs? Probably the same place you always use drugs, near the bathrooms.
I mean, yeah, you got your own little area. Nobody's that worried if you're like right next to anybody.
Yeah, if it's
I like it.
I really like it too. I thought it was a really cool idea. I saw the picture and I thought I was going to hate it, but I was like, okay, now the only thing it does is it does limit the amount of people that can go to an event like this.
But if you do it outside, I feel like technically the venue would be bigger, but you could probably have the same number. Like if you say have you been to the Bank of California Stadium?
Mm-mm.
I'm trying to think like a smaller stadium.
Yeah.
Like old RFK.
Right.
Like
maybe.
a small stadium.
Yeah.
And you had a concert, and we'll say even like 5,000 people were there.
Yeah.
You have it out in a field.
Yeah.
The area is bigger, but you still have 5,000 people.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
it's just like you got to modify it, and there's no stadium. There's no I feel like
I think you're probably losing 30% of the people no matter what you do, at least for the most part. But like I said, I think with maybe you charge just pinch more. Maybe I don't know how you make it back, but I
feel like once you get this set up though, they could just roll through things.
Yeah.
Like the next night have another concert. Next night have another concert. Like you just set this thing up.
Yeah.
And then like they come in that next day and they're just sanitizing everything, and then
they
boom.
put like a trash can in between some of these places.
Yeah.
It'd be really easy cleanup. All right, next story.
Like it.
I like it too. Next story. What do you got over there?
Got your boy.
Oh, got my boy Steve-O today. Okay, so I woke up to this story today. It's actually a very fun story for me because it happened so close to me. Right here in LA, 10 minutes from me, there is... If you've never been to Hollywood is really strange. You would think that... Well, Hollywood's strange for a lot of reasons.
I was just going to say, that's an understatement of the century right there.
But everywhere else on the planet, you could probably get a billboard for very reasonably priced. In Hollywood, for whatever reason... They are extremely expensive, and every time you go into Hollywood, there's only a few of them, and they always have like some. I remember when House of Cards came out.
Biggest Netflix show.
Yeah.
The biggest blockbuster movie.
Yep, whatever the biggest Netflix show, whatever the biggest blockbuster is, those are the ones on these signs. So you know that they're very coveted and they're very expensive. This morning, the cops had to show up because Steve-O had duct taped himself to this sign.
Well, I'm assuming he had help.
Lots of help. On the next picture we show you, it's very evident that he had tons of help. So he apparently was up there since like 6 this morning, waving at cars, yelling at people. He has apparently some very jackassy special that you can watch at his own website right there. It even says steve-o.com. And what did you say? It was like $10 or something?
$10, you get it for like 30 days. I
All
think.
right, click that next picture so we can talk about, because obviously the duct tape is meant to look real, but it's obviously fake. It is.
He's got like a platform to stand on.
He's got a platform to stand on where you can see under his feet, and then he has.
So there was phone. So imagine he dropped his phone. He's like,
I was
God
thinking
damn
the
it!
same- I was thinking the same thing, but yeah, I know exactly where he is. It's really great. But yeah, he was apparently there all morning, and then the cops had to show up and take him down. Rumor is they didn't even get in trouble for it. They didn't arrest him or anything, but they did at least kind of take him down.
Like give him the old.
Hey,
that's
knock
enough.
knock
for
it
you
off.
to you.
Yeah. And we talked about this on the show before. There was maybe
I wouldn't be surprised if he honestly had a permit for it.
No,
And it was all like and then the cops have to come at they're like, all right, well, you can be up there, but at like 9:32, we're gonna take you down.
maybe a big publicity stunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that he has shades up there. I like that he's.
Oh yeah, you gotta.
We watched
Get a
like a
little
quick
bright out
trailer
there.
for this, and it is so
It's
jacked.
everything you think it is.
It's exactly what you think it is.
No surprises.
Just ball kicks and punches to the face and all sorts of dumb jackass stuff.
Little people. And
Yeah, that's right. Little people. Yeah, we thought it was funny. Like I said, we actually talked about this on the show before. Maybe a few years ago, a guy went up there and stopped traffic to try and advertise his rap videos. It's not the first time we've seen it in LA, but I do think it's funny.
Not original.
Not original.
Steve-O,
But,
come on.
But I like it anyway. All right, next story we got here.
the social distancing thing is getting a little crazy.
Oh yeah, where's that? What's going on here? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, this was a lady in Tennessee went to get her driver's license, and this is what they handed her. They delivered her a picture with just an empty chair. She apparently was halfway out the door and then turned her back around and said that they had made a grave mistake. If I'm her, though, I'm leaving with this license. I'm just letting you know right now.
And then maybe go back the next day and be like, I lost it. I need a new one.
Yeah,
because I'm keeping that forever.
I mean, saying you could get pulled over completely blasted drunk and be like, look, I'm always look this way.
This is what I look like.
I mean, what happens if you show up to if I show up to a bar, they're going to 100% think this is fake.
Well, fun fact.
Fun fact.
In college, I had an ID that was not mine,
Yeah.
allegedly.
Weird. Okay.
And it was Tennessee.
Okay.
And it was actually a real Tennessee ID. It was just some other person
Yep.
who just happened to look enough like me that from basically the age of 19 to 21, I was this person.
Nice.
I went on spring break with it, used it. I think I signed him up for some free
So Tennessee
things.
is the home of the fake
Apparently,
licenses.
Tennessee not so diligent with their license creation.
When I was in college, I remember a lot of fake New York licenses. So I don't know if theirs are junky or something, but I remember a lot of my friends had fake New York licenses. So maybe there's just something about it. But I thought this story was great.
Malcolm Wilson wants us to react to the trailer.
Hey, we could do that. Yeah, we put this. We talking about the Steve-O
Steve-O.
trailer? Yeah. Yeah, not right. Yeah, not right now. I don't think he means. He means do a reaction video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it later.
Yeah, we'll do one.
We'll do one.
It'll be on the YouTube.
It'll be on the YouTube. Yeah, we'll do it. Maybe at the end of the show we'll show it and do it. Maybe we'll just do that, right?
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah,
We'll see what we got.
Do it at the end of the show. Other story I thought was cool. We got some, like I said, we're just kind of going rapid fire, but we had some fun stories in here. I read a story recently that an aquarium. I believe the aquarium was in Do It Live. Yeah, we will do it live. I believe the aquarium was in one of the Carolinas. They haven't had a lot of people there, and they have a wishing well there that has been used there for years. They have not emptied it in 15 years, 14 years, they said. So they decided they were going to empty the wishing well while business was slow, and they thought it might be able to be a nice way for them to pay some bills. It ended up being 100 gallons of coin. So far, they've just started to bring it into banks.
So to give you an idea, those buckets you get at Home Depot,
Yeah.
those are 5-gallon buckets.
5-gallon buckets.
So you 20 of those full of coins.
Right. And so far, they have not even gotten apparently halfway through, but there's already been $2,500 worth of coins they've collected. So
Less than I would have expected.
Yeah, I
Probably a
agree.
lot of pennies.
probably a lot of pennies, probably a bazillion pennies. I would probably say it's going to end up at like $10K, which is a really substantial amount of money out of a
Just to
wishing
be
well.
like, oh, I found $10,000.
Yeah, so that's kind of a nice little story. What else we got going on here today? I mean, old David Blaine,
Oh, yeah, your boy.
my boy David Blaine. Okay, so
Please explain this to me.
I'm one of these guys. If they ever, and I mean ever, on Netflix say like, hey, we have a new show and they're doing magic, immediately clicking in.
Nick loves magic.
Immediately clicking in. I know I'm being fooled. I know I'm being faked. The only thing that kind of stuff I don't like is where there's like a TV or the camera is used as a
camera tricks.
Yeah, I don't really like camera tricks because I feel like that's junky. But if you can do something in front of somebody and they don't know the difference, I feel like that's real magic. David Blaine has announced that he is going to try to fly from New Jersey to New York, a total of 75 miles.
I just find it funny because they touch.
Yeah.
So technically, it could be like 3 feet.
Yeah, right. Correct. Fly from New Jersey to New York, 75 miles, and he wants to do it while holding on to helium balloons. So he wants to
Up
just
style.
Yeah, that's right. Just one hand, just gripping these balloons. Just.
I would imagine it has to be both hands.
I mean, for sure, I would hope so. I honestly imagine. Okay, if we're being real, I think it's way more likely that he's just like strapped in around his waist or something. If I'm
like
being
his wrist is strapped to something.
Yeah.
Like, because theoretically, how long do you think you could hang from a pull-up bar? Just hold your weight. 3 minutes?
Yeah, 3, 4, 5 minutes maybe. Hopefully.
And like, if you trained and you were really good, maybe like a mountain climber or something, maybe you could get to 10 minutes.
Maybe. I mean,
I'm just saying, 10. Even I don't even know what the record is, but 75 miles, the amount of time you would have to be able to just hold your own body weight.
Okay, fair. I remember 2 things on that point. I remember he did a bit a long time ago where he put himself. He's done all sorts of things like this. Remember, he put himself in ice. Yeah. He also did the thing. I think
breath holding thing.
Yeah, the breath holding thing where he tried to break the world record for holding his breath, and he actually got kind of close. I think he did I think the record was like 9:30, and I think he did like 8:45 or something. Yeah. So I think he got pretty close. So I know some of his stunts he really does train for, so maybe that would be the case for this. But I would imagine it's much more likely that he's just strapped to a bunch of balloons as he flies. That being said, if he's just if they just attach a bunch of helium balloons and then he just takes off and flies to Jersey or to New York, are you impressed? Does that do anything for you?
If I can shoot like BB guns at him as he flies by, then I'm impressed. If he's willing to risk it.
That's a really good point. There are definitely people out there that are gonna be
knuckleheads. Got
like a potato
trying
gun.
To shooting stuff at him. I'd be taking drones and trying to fly him into the balloons.
I'm saying, I think the risk that is way higher.
To me, that you don't announce this.
No, you just do it.
Because the second you announce it, you're putting serious risks.
You're putting ideas in people's heads. Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. I'd love to see him do it, but if he just flies from there to there with the balloons and he's got I just saw a video the other day of a guy in a real Iron Man suit where he can just point his arms at the ground and
Adam Savage did it.
Forces enough propellant that he can take off the ground and can fly. You flying around on balloons doesn't do anything for me. So, it just doesn't get me excited in the least. I'm scared to death of heights, so you're not putting my ass on these balloons.
I mean, it's literally, for me, if he is hanging from these balloons, it's like a pull-up challenge. But I guess he can tie him to his hands, right? If he just ties them around him, his hand.
I'm saying if he's hanging from them, I would be man, it looks miserable. But again, where's the skill aspect of it? I'm not sure what I'm doing. As far as magic tricks go, I don't know what element he's gonna bring.
To me, that's not magic,
right? You're just kind of death.
It's
you're like Evil Knievel,
yeah,
kind of. Yeah,
cool, bro.
Yeah.
Where's the cards? Do something.
David Blaine did that best heroin junkie impression thing. Okay, did he really get caught doing heroin? Is that really a thing? Pat, fill us in here. One of our chat just said
I'm going to need you to link to some
sauce,
some
actual information on that. Like I said, I'm excited. I love anything junky like this. It's not quite the magic that I really get excited for. I'd much rather him go and pull a wallet out of my ass or something.
Yeah, no. Here's $1,000. That's a trick I want to see.
Have you ever seen the YouTube video of David Blaine? It's like that.
There's a couple from way back. I love those.
I love
the coin one.
The patronizing one. I'm talking about the one where they kind of mock him.
Oh.
And so they're go back and do your yearbook from high school, and it's him and David Blaine's behind him.
Yeah. Just ridiculous.
Because for a while David Blaine was kind of getting really ridiculous and reckless with his.
But his initial stuff was so good.
Oh, I agree. I think he's a really talented guy. I just think he doesn't know how to push it anymore. So these are where the boundaries are.
But the thing is, I don't need him to push it. That was never
maybe.
But I was never that interested in it. I was always the card tricks, stuff like that's always the coolest stuff to me.
I agree.
You do it real close and I
100% agree.
That's so much.
I would much rather you use all that kind of stuff. Anyway. So we will check out that. We will find that for you. Final one here.
Speaking of people that are full of shit.
Yeah, people are full of shit. Let's go to Russia for a second. So Russia has announced that they have a vaccine, right? Is that what they basically said?
That's what they said.
They have a vaccine for COVID. They have announced it.
There it is.
There's the first photo of the Russia vaccine. It's just a small oneser of Smirnoff. and get you drunk, though. You know,
Straight in the bloodstream,
Straight in
baby.
the bloodstream.
It's I think Smirnoff mixed with some steroids.
we do like to keep it light on this show, but apparently a lot of doctors have already quit and they're resigning because they say that they have skipped 1 million steps in making this vaccine, and there's not a ton of proof that it's even that safe.
Let alone works.
Let alone works. Russia has also been crazy low on the amount of COVID cases.
Supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So they just love to fudge numbers left and right. So I think this vaccine does seem like... I feel like if you came out with a vaccine, it really was real, and it really was going to save the world, I feel like there would have been bigger announcements, and I feel like there would be more countries like, hey, let me see this
Yeah.
thing. Nobody even seems to be curious.
No one's like, hey, can we get a sample?
Nobody cares. Everybody's just like, look, like we know.
But apparently Putin's daughter's got the vaccine.
Well, oh, does she? Do they have a picture of her?
Apparently.
Oh, there she is. Putin's daughter 3 days from now. Yeah. I mean, did he really give it to her?
That's what he said
Okay.
that's
Well,
what he said.
That's the plan.
Again, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Look, she's fine.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Somebody in the chat said they've had a ton of pneumonia cases, though, right? Yeah, weird.
Weird.
Massive uptick in pneumonia, no COVID, though.
Yeah, a lot of states in America.
So,
Weird.
okay, do you think a country like that, though, is going to continue to have ongoing problems like the United States has, or even more so because they kind of deny it? Or do you think it's one of those things where...
I think I don't know.
I think
Honestly, I think this is these are those things. Like, I know in Belarus, there was huge uprising against the rigged election because of COVID. People are really, like, getting riled up because the governments aren't doing enough. So maybe this is one of those things where Russia's like, man, if we don't do something about this, like, we could really be in trouble. Like, this is a big enough thing
Almost
to actually go against them.
Almost a save face is kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, like,
okay.
oh, we got it. We fixed it.
Yeah.
And then they can tell people they're giving out the vaccine and it works, but it doesn't always work or whatever.
Right.
And then, like, hope the rest of the world actually gets a vaccine. Then they can steal it because they've already been accused of, like, trying to steal the data about vaccines.
Yeah. No, I think it'd be... I'm interested to keep up with it and see if there's any... I mean, again, they're fudging all the numbers. How are we supposed to know if it even works? Because the numbers are going to almost be irrelevant and meaningless. But yeah, we did. I don't know. We think it's interesting that somebody's claimed they have it and nobody else in the world seems to be that interested in trying it. So we'll go see where it goes from there. What else do we got here?
Well, that made me think of some other interesting hoaxes that have been perpetrated on the folks of the planet.
So you're saying this vaccine's already in your mind a hoax?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
I will go on record as saying that I do not believe that this is real. Copyright.
Yeah, we just copyrighted your hoax. All right, so
Hoax.
Hoaxes. Everything's a hoax.
Hoaxes and hoaxes.
So
and hoaxes.
me and Lamb were looking, and we just wanted to look up some of the just as a quick tangent.
Yeah, we'll buzz through them. Don't worry, folks.
Yeah, we just wanted to talk about some of the other fake hoaxes or I guess they're all hoaxes are fake. All junky hoaxes we've seen through time. Lamb, walk us through some of your favorites here.
So this one I thought was pretty funny. It's called The Turk. It was a chess-playing automaton from like the
1780s?
The Turk went on tour of Europe in the 1780s.
Okay.
So supposedly a robot that could play chess against people. So people would walk over and and they play it and had gears and all this stuff inside of it. But there was apparently also inside of it an actual chess playing guy.
Nuh-uh. Okay, so okay, just for you guys at home, this is not a fake reaction, Lamb. Again, we do this a lot in the show. He will not show me something and I will not show him something. I have not seen any of this.
So apparently beat Napoleon and Benjamin Franklin in chess.
So this is this dude down there just sweating.
Yeah.
That's all I can think.
In a tiny box playing chess.
They didn't have like water bottles or anything. This dude just sweating.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. That was great.
So I wonder, what, he's got to be moving the arms?
Yeah, so he controlled what the machine would do.
Wow. That really is actually pretty advanced.
Oh, it's super advanced, but it's just like...
And you'd have to find somebody that was really good at chess to even do it.
Yeah, and it said for over 100 years, people didn't know what was going on.
That's really fascinating.
So he controlled it from inside, but there was a dude in there, like the Wizard of Oz style.
It's like a dog just sniffing around it before people realize it was like somebody in there or something.
Apparently, this Cardiff Giant was a just like a giant stone dude they found magically.
Uh-huh.
But this guy like went and got this stone cut and told the people he was going to be making an Abraham Lincoln statue.
Uh-huh.
Buried it in a field and then waited a full year. And then dug this thing up.
And then pretended
they found this giant thing, that it was like a fossilized dude.
This was like 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
You know, I actually have thought before how fun it would be to bury something. Like we talked about before, there was a guy a while ago, like 10, 12 years ago, that hid that gold in the Rocky Mountains and told everybody to go find it. I don't know. There's something great to that. Like, there's something.
A long con.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what I was looking for. The long con, man. I like the long con. I like burying it. I like the idea.
We got the old Loch Ness Monster photo.
Oh, yeah, dude.
The original that's not been proven. Some dentist, I guess, or some doctor found
Here's what I'll say about any of
made
this
it.
stuff. Do I believe that there was, at some point, some massive creature in the water? Yeah, maybe. Do I think that there's one now? No, I don't. I think
need to have like breeding pairs. There need to be enough of them to make more of them.
Well, somebody said to me the other day, what about like deep underwater, like deep, like we haven't even looked at like 80% of the ocean. And I do know that's true.
Yeah.
But I will say this, at least from all the stuff that I've looked up, if you want to be deep underwater, you actually have to be built different as a fish just because the pressure is so immense. The only ones that survive are like paper thin, you know?
Yeah, maybe a squid or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
War of the Worlds, people know about. The radio broadcast, people thought was real.
Yeah.
I'll skip Hitler's Diaries. We don't even got one. This one I love is the 2001 photo of the year, baby. The helicopter shark. It's a shark jumping out of the water, attacking this dude hanging from a helicopter. And for those folks...
It says this is the first true internet hoax. Huh. I mean, for 2001, there's no way you'd have told me that was like...
Yeah, somebody got this thing
pretty
way advanced.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, actually. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. Yeah, somebody with some actual skills did this. But you're saying there's not a single part of this is fake.
No,
some part of this is real, excuse me.
Two separate photos.
Two separate photos.
And they just combined them in a very good way.
That's, I'm not trying to be that guy, but the world was a little cooler when you could get away with something like this.
I kind of like that.
I
Like,
know.
just the idea of that makes me happy.
Yeah, I know. Like, nowadays, like, everybody's a little bit jaded, right? You see anything, people are like, it's copy, or it's faked or forged.
I'd never heard of this one, so it made me laugh. Apparently, there was a hoax going around that you could charge your iPod with an onion and some Gatorade.
No, I've not heard this. So people were trying that, huh?
Yeah. So apparently, a lot of people not happy that their iPod didn't charge when they bought onion and Gatorade.
Isn't there some truth that you can charge a phone through something?
Yeah,
right?
potatoes and stuff like
Right,
that. And you get
potatoes.
the electrical potential of things and stuff like that. Usually, you run a clock on a potato because they
Right.
use such low. But yeah, the actual amount of energy you would need is just
An onion and a Gatorade.
not gonna do it.
Not gonna do it. Somebody just
Beaver ball.
Buried
This
treasure.
one I loved.
uh-huh.
So apparently, Taylor Swift went online and did a thing where she was going to perform at whatever school got the most votes.
Okay.
The school that won, that Reddit and 4chan got on, the school that won was the Horace Mann School for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing.
God, the internet is just undefeated.
Of course,
Ruthless.
apparently they disqualified that school as winning. But
I wonder if you'd talked that school, they were pissed.
Yeah, I know.
though.
Like,
Yeah,
what?
Yeah, I
You
know.
won, bro.
Just because you can't hear her doesn't mean we don't see her here.
I thought that was so good.
It reminds me of Bodie McBoatface, right?
Yeah.
You literally can't do this. It has been a proven fail. You can't leave the internet up to make your choice. You
No.
just can't do it.
Unless you give them like 4 choices and let them choose from those 4
and they're
choices.
all reasonable,
Yeah.
then they're gonna find the
You
most.
open end it. Have you
Yes.
ever seen the McDonald's had like an app where you could build your own hamburgers and they just like let you have the choices and then that you could name them and stuff?
No.
Oh my God, we'll have to look at that some point.
Yeah.
They had like this. It's just like the sad burger. It was just like 2 buns. like
That's
you
what I'm
just,
saying.
like-
You can't give to the internet. Reddit's one of my absolute favorite sites. Even for this show, I get some of my stuff from Reddit because it tends to be very reliable and good people. That is really funny, but it does kind of a burn at the deaf school. But anyway, go ahead.
I mean, it was just one of those things like, all right, we'll give it to somebody who can actually appreciate your music.
That's true. Very true. All right. So famous
Oh,
hosts.
yeah.
Yeah, we
forgot
got to
about
go
that.
different something else. Oh yeah, we got to.
What we did.
Well, we did, right. Okay, so we always try to find something entertaining for you guys for this show. Lamb actually saw this the other day and thought it was really interesting, so we wanted to kind of mimic it. Lamb, go ahead and introduce this here.
All right, so Al Franken, former senator and Saturday Night Live alum, apparently was asked to draw a map of the United States from memory.
Okay.
And did it in 6 minutes. I'm going to hit play. It's at double speed. Apparently, that's as fast as YouTube could go. We are not going to watch 3 minutes of it, but we'll pop in on a couple things. So I'm just starting Minnesota, his home state, I believe, actually, of where he was a senator. And he's drawn.
Let me just say this right off the bat. Even being able to create something, even if you knew exactly what everything looked like, physically putting it onto paper is, in my opinion, an actual skill. You could show me something for an hour, and then I went to go draw, and I can't get from what's in my brain onto a piece of paper. But for me, I can get what's in my brain to my mouth. I can say things clearly, and I can describe them better than maybe somebody else. But I literally could not draw them like this.
Skip ahead a little bit. Him drawing the New England area over there.
I mean, he even knows all the small parts of it, right?
And
Like
little bits.
I guarantee most of my friends don't know half of the states that are in the top north, right, toward the top northeast, because I don't.
All right, skip ahead a little bit more.
Okay. And then he just starts drawing a bunch of squares.
Yeah, and he's just drawing a bunch of squares in the middle for some weird reason. I didn't realize we had a bunch of squares there.
If you're in the chat here, do you think how well do you think you could do this? Let's say on a percentage scale. Does it? Oh my God! Look at California. Look how beautiful that is. Wow.
So I'm gonna. It was less. It was like 5 minutes. So
wow. I didn't realize that. Actually, you hadn't shown me this video. I didn't realize it came out that clean.
now he's doing the top. Got to get Alaska in there.
Oh yeah, we didn't do this part.
Yeah, we didn't. And Hawaii.
I mean, that is quite literally beautiful. Even Texas. Look at Texas, man. It looks exactly like it. There's no way. Oh my God, mine looks so bad. How I'm looking at this. Okay, so for you guys, watching the show, me and Lamb wanted to try and do this ourselves. So we made a quick video of us trying to do the same thing. How many? We got 6 minutes.
Yeah, we gave ourselves 6 minutes because the video was 6 minutes long. We were allowed to look at the map of the United States for 2 minutes.
Correct.
Before we started.
Yeah, I said, Lamb, do I have anything? He said, well, you can take a quick look at the United States for a couple minutes and then we'll go. So I 2 minutes, looked at it, went for it. And I'd say ours are almost identical to this.
Yeah, so first, let's go. Here we go. Here's a video of us doing this.
This is us getting our drawing on. And
as you can see, we put a timer there so you can't.
And we put a blocker up so we couldn't cheat
off each other.
As if there would be any cheating necessary. Like what? Like Lamb had some great edge or I had some great edge.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. So that's us doing the thing.
Doing the thing. Doing the dang.
Now, want to show them what we did?
Yeah, show me
All
yours.
right. So
you
this
killed
is
it.
mine.
Yeah, you killed it. And by killed it, I mean very average. No, I'm just kidding.
So there's mine. I would venture to say it. You could tell it's the United States.
Right.
And that's about it.
That's good. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, missed some key things.
Would you say
time element was a true issue.
Would you say if you had to guess, there's 100% 50 states on there?
There's 48 because we only did the bottom.
Okay. 48, excuse me.
I would guess there's 47 for some reason.
Okay.
I'm guessing I missed one.
Okay.
But I think I did okay.
Okay. I love that your Texas looks like a KKK hat for some reason. I love that your Florida looks phallic. But again, other than that, the middle of the state actually looks pretty solid, to be honest with you. Actually, pretty impressed.
We used Sharpies, which there were no erasers allowed. So that was again part of the challenge.
No erasers. Yeah.
You couldn't go back and be like, oh, I made that too big. Once you made it too big, you had to live with your choice.
You had to live with your choice. Yeah. So we that was the best we could. Now mine, I pretty much hit nail on the head here.
Yeah. So let's get to Nick's. Boom.
There it is. Okay, so almost exactly the same as Lamb's.
Now, if you had to guess, how many states did you draw?
25, maybe. Okay,
My favorite is that you obviously started in the top right corner, and you have New England up there, because you have that a little more detail.
I don't even remember it looking this bad when I drew it.
So
Malcolm, I knew that was Nevada, but Vegas is way more important than Nevada. So Vegas just gets a whole state.
So I love that somehow Maine has a hat.
There's so many states up there. I wasn't sure how many there were, so I just drew a bunch of them.
A bunch of squiggles. Montana apparently is all you know of the north, upper northwest.
So we got Nebraska. I wasn't sure where it was, so it just kind of covers multiple states.
There's North Montana, West Montana, East Montana. I love that there's no actual Montana.
Yeah, if you can see there, folks, I have North Montana at the top, West Montana, East Montana, because there's a lot of Montanas. Iowa with a question mark. Not sure. It should be somewhere in that area. Also, 2 states with Wyoming as a question mark. I know it's in there somewhere. We're not sure exactly where it is.
You did get the West Coast right. Washington, Oregon, and California stacked. Florida, you labeled. It does look like a sad Santa hat or maybe an elf hat. I'm not sure.
I mean, the rest of it on the right, I just knew they were all. I would say there's no more than 25, 26 squares here, so there's definitely some pieces missing. That's not
I love
true.
that Texas doesn't even have a top part.
No, nothing. I have the top. We have like Michigan and what's the other one over there?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Yeah, they're up there.
Becca Boo.
Hey, I know who that
Follow
is.
us.
Becca Boo. Becca Boo, come on. Now tell me you're not. You've been in Nebraska.
Now,
That's very true. I have been in Nebraska, but that's why.
have you lived in Maryland?
Yes,
Why is it not on the map?
because it's so small that it doesn't really.
Didn't fit with the vibe you were going with.
Like a Rhode Island thing.
Not a rectangle, so it wasn't vibing it.
Nebraska, like I said, I know it's in the center, so that's why it's just the entire center. Dakotas are priceless. South Dakota, North Dakota, they look exactly the same. So there you go, folks. That's me. That's my perfect rendition of the map in 6 minutes. If you guys have not done this, for real, okay.
So you'll be able to see ours side by side.
Okay, we didn't
now
need this.
now mine is crushing yours. That's your map.
Okay,
That's
so
the sound your map makes.
my map
oh
looks.
my god.
At least if somebody stared, they would say, "I think that's the United States." That's all I was hoping for, right? Okay, if you guys have not done this though, please give it a try and send us your
6 minutes.
6 minutes. Don't be a cheater. Don't look at the United States for like 45 minutes.
Honestly, I don't think it would have helped.
I take a minute. I don't give a damn. Take 5 minutes to look at it. I don't think it's gonna help you. Yeah, see what I'm saying, dude? I mean, my middle of the country is dead on. Lamb didn't even have time to label his as beautifully as mine is.
Yeah, true. I will give you that. I did not label mine to the extent that you labeled
That's
yours.
right. I mean, I got all the Montanas, all the Wyomings, and all that.
I love the Texas nubbin that you have coming down is so small.
So small. When I first drew it, I can't even tell you how proud of it I was. I was like, oh, this is exactly what it looks like.
I got this.
Nailed it. And then I actually tried to label it as Texas, and I said, this
Yeah,
looks ridiculous.
I might have been better off using Al Franken's tactic of state by state. I don't know.
Your Wisconsin to my Michigan, both of them together, is really funny to me. Mine's blobs of turds. Yours look like states. Anyway, all right, guys, that was a little fun for you. We
so much better.
so 6 minutes. Draw the United States. Have some fun. Do it yourself. Send it in. We'll make fun of you.
I'm 100% a bigger nerd than I let on. That is for sure. And as Nick can attest, for this one, I did not cheat.
No, he didn't cheat to this one, but I 100% knew I was about to get my ass kicked. Like I just said, I cannot draw. I literally can't do it. Whatever part of your brain is supposed to develop that you can use crayons or markers, I never got. So I knew I was going to screw this one up. That's why I at least made sure we got all the Dakotas. All right, let's move on here. All right. You want to move on to Uber? I actually do.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, so kind of a big story. We don't like to dive too deep into something very often. But this story struck a chord with me. If you guys have ever taken an Uber, Lyft anywhere drunk, you got to support this company. But I have a lot of friends, including Kevin, including family, that have driven Uber, Lyft, and still do. They are, if you are not familiar, they are what's considered a contractor job, independent contractor. Yeah. So they are not considered a technical employee of Uber, as the same way you would be if you were a secretary or a nurse or something like that. Because of that, if you're an Uber driver, if you don't know this, what's up, Kurt? We got Kurt back in. I appreciate you guys jumping in here. I always like to say what's up to people in the chat. If you're an Uber driver or Lyft driver, you're not entitled to benefits. You're not entitled to an hourly wage. You're not entitled to a lot of the. You're not entitled to paid vacations.
Unemployment.
Unemployment. There's a
big one right
they
now.
They made an exception this year for that. So they are allowed, but normally you're not allowed to have unemployment. And there is a actually, to be honest with you, we could have even done this segment on side A, side B, because I really could take either side with this very, very easily. But me personally, I feel like it's just a really grimy way for Uber or Lyft to not pay their people fully. But let me say this real quick. Let me at least put the pros and cons real quick of each. Pro, for paying people as employees. Obviously, like I said, the employees get benefits. You do all that kind of stuff. Now, the other pro of getting paid as an employee is just a normal wage every week, right? Like knowing kind of what you're going to get, knowing what you would get for overtime is one of the big complaints because the people that drive don't have any idea what they're going to get for overtime. The con is
there's technically no overtime.
Right, and that's a big problem. So the con is, I mean, there's a lot of cons, but you don't get all of those benefits that I was talking about, but also you're not, like, you don't really have a job, so to say, and there are a lot of things you kind of lose out without having that real job, and I think, I don't know, I guess for me, I think it strikes a chord for me so much because I've been a server, and I know that a lot of jobs I did serving for, you didn't get a paycheck, right? You got zeroed out. And I found it's a stressful life to live that way, but for this, it is kind of a 50-50 issue. Now, you have driven for both or one?
Both.
Both. Would you say that one paid any particularly better than the other one?
It was always a dice roll because Lyft pays more per ride.
Okay.
But you're less likely to get rides. There's more gaps in between.
Okay.
So your per hour tends to be lower.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a toss-up.
Okay.
Do you want to work a lot, like a lot of drives,
Yeah.
and be busy? Or do you want less rides and make more per ride? And you tend to make about the same for each.
You said, and I remember you telling me that the longer you were there, the less you made. It would not like that's for everybody, but over time they have paid their employees less and less and less.
Even,
is that right?
Yeah, I drove periodically, like here and there. The amount you made per ride became less and less, and part of that is because people expect Uber and Lyft to be cheap.
Mm-hmm.
They don't take it if it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So Uber has made the decision, and I assume that they want to keep their money. And they'll just give the drivers less to make the ride cheaper instead of taking a less of a percentage. They take a huge
That was gonna be my
percentage.
next question.
I would say on average, the rides depend. The percentages vary, but I would say on average they're taking 40 to 50% at least, if not 60, 70%
so
of
if
that ride.
you pay $22 for a ride share, they're taking 10.
Easily
taking 10, 11.
10.
My question is, what did they do for that work, right? I mean, what's the money going towards?
Yeah, suppose, they have the app.
Right.
They do run the app. And
they give you a phone?
Nah.
No. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. They run the app. So there is upkeep with that. And I will give you, and they have to keep, constantly making sure it works. And
they have people that come out to, like, look at your car, right?
You take it to a spot and they inspect it and make sure you have everything and make it, make sure your car's nice enough and has all the seatbelts it's supposed to and is
right
good. And they have, they process all the payments.
Yeah.
So, stuff like that. So there is some overhead.
Right.
I'm not trying to say they should ever do it for free.
Right.
But they do it on such a scale, at such a large amount. If they just took $1 per ride,
right,
just a flat $1, they have to be doing right now, probably not, but normally 300 or 400 million rides a day. Like I would think.
Right.
Like,
and my thing is, okay, so
you can't make 300 million a day? Like, oh no, that's not enough.
Right.
Like,
and the other thing is, like, okay, so and this really is I'm sure there really is people split on this argument because some people they're saying, so, okay, another thing that's really grimy is Uber and Lyft and a couple other companies have gotten together and they have put in all of this political money and they have put in this, they've actually got a, what would you call that? Put on for vote. What's the word I'm looking for? They bought essentially a
lobby.
No, it's like something you'd have to
a bill.
Yeah, like they put a bill in the election. So and they've so far put $118 million into getting this bill.
That should tell you all you need to know.
That should tell you all you need to know. And they're trying to get it so that people see the other side and say, like, this is stupid, like they shouldn't have to do it, right? They don't want to be forced into it. And their argument is that they have polled drivers and they say that 4 to 1 that these drivers want to be independent because they don't want to schedule. They want it to be on their own time. They don't want to be forced to work, yada, yada, yada. So they're saying that. Now, do I believe that number is deadly accurate? No, I don't believe that.
There's some interesting things because I would say, having done it as a side job, I wouldn't want to be classified as an employee.
Okay.
Fair enough. A side job.
Right. Fair enough.
But that's because I have a job that already has benefits, already has these things. But I would like the option to be able to get benefits from them if that's the job I can get and do.
Right. Here's what I'll say. They have $118 million to jam into like putting a bill up, for a vote, it seems like you have enough money to fork over for. It seems like you have enough money to pay employees. Like I said, but again, they have basically said if they do this, that they're going to quite literally shut the program down in California until otherwise noted. The court has given them 10 days to start paying employees correct way, make them employees. Now, what I was saying is, why can't it be a little bit of both? Like, why can't you choose to be one or the other? I think that would be a nice little thing, because I guarantee they would keep half their employees as independent contractors, and then people that want to drive and make the rules. Okay, you have to drive this amount of hours per week, and then you
give this amount of rides or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then, there's really not. I don't think there's as many people that drive full time as you think.
No. I would say
in big cities, yes.
Yes, big cities, yes.
But generally, no. Like, most people are doing it in between things, whatever. And even just had tiers. Like, it's like, all right, if you want to qualify to be able to, like, buy our health insurance,
right,
you have to do 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
If you want better health insurance or whatever, you got to do 40 hours a week. Like, you can make the rule, like...
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like I said, the Uber CEO is actually the one that said, why can't there be a third way?
Yeah.
Allowing them to opt for the flexibility of independent work while having access to benefits and the amount of time they work, having, opinions on that. I think that is a good idea. I just think that if I work 40 hours for Uber and I make you $2,000 that week, then I should get health benefits. I'm running my car into the ground.
Yeah.
I'm driving in traffic all day, which is at least putting me in a little bit of risk. And I am bringing in you money. Now, one of the things that was really interesting to me is I actually looked this up. It's how California specifically looks at an employee compared to an independent contractor. And they have 3 rules. The first is behavioral. Does the company control or have the right to control what the worker does and how the work is done? Do they have control to what the worker does? Not really, but they only do one thing, which is drive the car, right? I would say.
They control the rides, kind of,
Yeah.
because they are the ones who put them up.
Yeah. And then,
like, you don't get like 10 rides and get to pick one.
Right, that's true. They just give you. They say these, and
here's this ride. Do you want?
That's true. Once you sign in for work, they say here's your next ride. And I've been told multiple times if you say no to that, then you kind of stop getting rides. So you're almost forced to take what they give you. Is that right?
You do get some leeway, but it affects your driver rating.
Okay. So then, and how the work is done, right? I guess the only thing I could think of is, like,
they tell you how to drive.
Right, they tell you the directions you take, right?
Yeah.
Like, you could take your own, but essentially that would be like anything. That'd be like delivering food for FedEx. Or delivering stuff for FedEx. You could take your own route if you wanted to, but their route is probably the fastest. The second was financial. Does the company control the worker's pay? Does the company reimburse the person for expenses? Independent contractors typically pay their own expenses. So right off the bat, that at least leans towards independent contractors, because they pay for the Uber driver, the car, the oil changes, all that kind of stuff. Now, is that fair, though? In my personal opinion, it's not. At least everything I've ever had to pay for as a car is expensive.
Well, I have to go to school, or I have to go to a job. I have to drive there.
Right. Agreed.
Just because you're using something to get to work or as part of work,
I don't expect compensation for my car, but I do expect a slightly extra pay, knowing that I'm going to run this car into the ground.
Yeah.
Type of relationship was number 3 on that list. Is there a contract that specifies the relationship? Does the worker receive benefits? Is the work a key aspect of the business? It's the only aspect.
The key.
It's the key to the business, right? So it's odd to me that you could say. And actually, somebody said something in the chat. Our moderator just said, I think if Uber and Lyft took that initiative before, then they wouldn't be in the position they are now. I 100% agree with that. If they'd have started this way, they'd probably have less drivers that they could pay more efficiently, that were more excited to be there, that were probably better employees.
Yeah, and you would know going in, this is the expectation.
Right, 100%.
Like I think a lot of people get into it, and it's a weird, I got into it just as a side thing, but you have to pick a number in your head that makes you, break even for the day.
Yeah.
Because if you just go and take one ride, it's not worth your time.
Right, for sure.
You have to put in that hustle and try and get the back-to-back.
You gotta go. If you gotta go 6 to 8 hours, otherwise you're really not getting much of a paycheck.
Yeah.
Right.
You're cool, $6. That's not
Right.
doing
Took
anything.
you
for
25
me.
minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had to
right.
like clean. I had to take my car and get it washed and clean the inside and do all these like things before it's even like good to go. And then
Okay, so and like I said, here's the other 3 factors, and these are just like kind of factors that the IRS kind of goes with. That you can, if these 3 factors apply, you could be considered an independent contractor. The worker is not under the control of the employee for work performance. That's a lie.
yeah,
Like you're graded on every single ride.
Yeah.
So if you are eventually,
but the company doesn't grade you.
that's really true. That's really
The
true.
rider
But
does.
but that's one step removed from them being graded, right? So okay, so I grade the employee. I say, hey, this guy was a terrible driver. Then Uber, if I get enough of them, then they are the one reprimanding me, right?
Yeah.
So they're controlling my performance. And if I also, you've told me before, if you start to get really bad reviews, you also start to get less rides.
For sure.
So there's also controlling my work performance. The other one that would be for an independent
Not
contractor.
according to Uber, but according to my actual experience.
Right. The work is not within the usual course of the employee's business. So, like the example I gave was like a cleaning company coming in, cleaning for a software company's office, right? That is not essential to their business. But this is, the whole business.
Yeah.
So, again, that kind of writes that off. And then the other one was the worker is engaged in an independent trade, occupation, profession, or business. I don't see it that way. I don't see them as independent in any kind whatsoever. If they stopped doing the Uber, there's no way for them to ever get a ride on their
If
own.
there was
right?
one person doing Uber, then yeah, they're doing it independent.
Right, but this is not that. So,
Or if you could like start your own mini Uber business and you're like contracting out to that.
right, I just like if I stopped using the Uber app, I'm never gonna get a ride. I'm never gonna be able to drive
Yeah.
anybody anywhere. Nobody's gonna want to ride.
Yeah, it's not like I can just like I have my own app.
Yeah, I guarantee if I put like taxi on my car, I feel like there's probably millions of rules to that as well,
Yes,
right?
for
So,
sure.
so right, it's not independent in any sense. There's only way I can do it is through them. I'm curious to see how it goes forward. I think as a person that's taken Uber and Lyft a lot in my life, I've always kind of known internally there's going to be an issue. I've talked to a lot of taxi drivers that hate it. We've even talked about in the show that they say taxi drivers get really mad because it used to cost like $250,000 for these little token saying that you were able to be a taxi driver, and now you can just be a taxi driver just picking up your phone. So people that have put in a lot of their years to taxi driving hate it. So I've always known there's going to be an issue that way. Also, even when you go to like an airport, there's like millions of these things, waiting for pick people up. I just kind of, they're taking a lot of money away from a lot of different people. I always knew that there'd be a hubbub, but it does seem like they're trying to throw millions of dollars at getting people to pay people less. It bums me out. I think, 'cause the companies like things like this need like a union or something to help them fight for it, because I understand Uber and Lyft's complaint. I really do see their side of it, but at least needs to be an option, right? Like bottom line, in my opinion. But
I agree. There definitely needs to be some sort of middle ground where, yeah, you can't classify like, oh, I drove for Lyft for 3 rides this month.
right.
You have to give me health insurance.
Right, that's not fair. I agree. But if I rode for 120 hours that month, I rode 30, 40 hours a week.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, we took, $1,000 worth of fees this month.
Right.
Yeah, I think some of that should go towards my health insurance and some of that should go towards
My
like
damn
my
damn car.
unemployment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, maybe just something.
Right. So anyway, let's just it's a more of a serious subject for this show than we get into, but I just thought it was interesting. Like I said, if you're somebody that takes this, I always tip. I always say thank you. I always try to be nice to the drivers. I understand that they're essentially just a normal person out there trying to make a side wage. So I always throw a couple bucks to them, but I'd hate to see something like this disappear just because of greed.
I will say you get, as a driver, you get 100% of the tip, which is nice.
Okay, so there you go. If you're
Where like Grubhub does some shady stuff with the tip. So
Correct.
if you can tip your Grubhub person with cash,
they'd appreciate it. Honestly, if you
huge.
tip anybody in cash, you're probably helping the world out. But yeah, just something to keep an eye out. If you use it, make sure to tip, and then like I said, we'll see if in 10 days Uber and Lyft's even an option in this state. I'm kind of curious to see what happens. But all right, let's move on. We got what do we got next on the segment? Goalie drops back, catcher punch near the rim, slam dunk, touchdown.
Sports ball.
That's right, sports ball. I don't
It's
have
third favorite segment.
third favorite segment, mostly just because I get a cool button to press. Don't really have any sports stories super heavy, but we had a lot of funny stories related to sports today. Unless you guys care about actual scores, which nobody does. Except Damian Lillard gets a shout out in the show. I don't know if you've seen, a couple nights ago he scored 51 for the Trailblazers, and then a couple nights later, just to show himself up, he scored 61. So I'm gonna shout out him because that's pretty baller.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. That's 110 points in 2 games, so not bad. We're gonna start with I was about to say Sean's lookalike, but your lookalike, Sean McVay. I wish we had that picture of you going as Halloween for Sean McVay.
I have it, but I don't have it uploaded.
You said that he was considered for a nice position.
Yeah, Monday Night Football in the booth. They
asked him.
They were like, "Hey, yeah." They put some feelers out. Like,
excuse me.
I know you're the head coach of the Los Angeles Rams, but hey, you want to give that up and just talk on television once a week?
I do understand that it's at least whether anybody wants to admit it, it's a very tempting offer, right? Like you essentially make probably very similar money, if not more,
for way less stress and work.
Way less stress and work. So I totally understand that. But if your passion is coaching, I think it's a really lot.
You're one of the youngest coaches in NFL.
You grinded your whole life to get to this point.
Go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Take your in probably one of the second biggest market, third biggest market for football.
You think Bill Belichick's pissed he didn't get asked? Like, he's like, yo, I'm not the best coach of all time. And
I think he would be like, oh, yeah, I'm pretty good at talking. That would be, yes.
I think Sean McVay would be great on television, but it's going to be like 30 years from now once he's won 2 Super Bowls and he's done. But yeah, kind of an interesting story. I can't believe that's like, you would think that there's a million people that have like played football or done or coached the game they could go to. It's unbelievable that Sean McVay is the number one person on the list. But
I mean, they know handsome when they see handsome. What can I say?
Yep, here we go. I was about to give you the fart noise so hard. But
too bad.
Too bad. Anyway, I'll do it anyway. There you
go. Damn it.
Sorry about that. Also in sports ball, we have the Seattle running back got cut this week for a pretty funny reason. So as you know, in the NFL, they're kind of in the bubble system. They're being careful. They got to be go to practice, go home. He was a rookie. Sorry, he's not a running back. He's a cornerback. I keep saying running back.
He's a rookie.
He's a rookie cornerback. He, newly famous, excited to get some women in his life, tried to sneak a woman into the hotel in which the players were staying at, which is not allowed.
Yes.
What's up?
But
okay, you pulled up. Okay, but
yeah, no, it was just one of those things. Like, I get this.
Right.
It's what happened next.
That's
to
weird.
Me that really.
So apparently he didn't just try to sneak somebody into the locker room or into the hotel. Excuse me. It was a lady, and he actually put this lady in like full Seattle gear, like hat, jacket, everything, and apparently tried to make this woman look like a man so that nobody would catch him. Apparently he was immediately caught, and then he was cut from the team. I thought that was really harsh. I thought that was like a slap on the wrist situation, not like a. But they said in the memo, like, look, like you jeopardize the entire team of being sick because you bring in this girl. We got to give you the boot.
He's a rookie. That's why they cut him.
That's it. They're trying to send a message.
They're sending a message, but I mean,
like, look, I feel the guy's pain. Dude, he's out here like just like finally famous. He's
got some dollars. Yeah. He's like, I can't do anything.
So I thought that was kind of a great story. I don't know, man. I mean, you're telling me none of these players are getting women in the hotel?
I'm saying he's just not famous enough to get the slap on the wrist.
That's true. There you go. I appreciate that. That's the way to say it. Another story. Not really sure if I'm pro or against this story. I think I'm against it, but it is kind of a hubbub. If you don't know who Olivia Munn is, she's an actress. She was on video game show IGN back in the day. She did all sorts of things. Also dated Aaron Rodgers. Kind of important to this story. She just came out. Maybe we don't know. She came out and said that one of her most recent people she was with was a really selfish boyfriend. Was not that good in the bedroom and was incredibly selfish there, and also always liked the lights to be completely black. They said this. So people immediately thought this was Aaron Rodgers and she was taking a stab at Aaron Rodgers. I will say this is a two-pronged thing for me because I'm bitter on it. I'm bittersweet on it because I don't really like Aaron Rodgers and he seems kind of like a jerk, but I also think the bedroom stuff is super personal and you shouldn't take jabs at people. Because like I think I said these off air. If this was reversed, if this was Aaron Rodgers saying this person or a person that's really famous and her name rhymes with Shlamivia Schlun was really bad in the bedroom, there'd be an uprising. People would be super upset.
Yeah, he might actually get cut.
Right. He's a jerk. He shouldn't be saying it. It's way out of bounds. But for some reason, the other way around, it's okay. So I'm anti that part of the story, but I'm pro make fun of Aaron Rodgers. So
I do find it interesting timing, though, because Aaron Rodgers was dating Danica Patrick.
Oh, that's right.
And they have...
Broken up
in the last couple weeks.
He reminds me, like, I don't have to meet him. I know that the breakups are his fault. I don't want to be rude by that, but like he's one of these guys that looks difficult to be. Coaches, players, everybody say he's difficult to be around. I'm sure it's not any different in a relationship.
Also, I don't think two famous people often can be together.
I think it's tough.
Their time, like the amount of time they spend apart doing, and they have to focus. Like not to knock, but Aaron Rodgers has to focus on football.
Has to. Right.
It's just required.
10, 12 hours a day.
And Danica Patrick, I'm sure, is focusing on her driving or whatever she's working on. It's, I don't think, very easy to also give the person you're with the right amount of attention and do what you need to do to have a successful relationship.
One of the things I've talked about many times off air is Rory McIlroy, who's a famous golfer, if you don't know. He was dating, or still is dating, I don't really know, a really famous tennis player who, I'm sure you just name the first girl you think of your mind. I'm sure it'll be her. I can't think of her name. Really.
Sharapova?
Yeah, there you go. Maria Sharapova.
No, I don't think it's her.
Was it?
I don't think so. I thought she was dating Iglesias.
Okay, so he dated one of the attractive tennis players. I thought it was Maria Sharapova. We're looking it up right now. I'm curious. Okay, so anyway, so he dated somebody, a very famous tennis player, and while he was kind of in the midst of his season, apparently he was flying back and forth. Carolina Wozniacki or
Yeah,
whatever.
Wozniacki.
Okay, yeah. She a very famous tennis player. I think she was number one for a while, but he was flying back and forth to be at her events and see her all the time, and he was missing practices. And I think he's really never recovered from it, to be honest with you. He's never really been quite the same golfer that he was back then. So I think you're right. I think it is kind of tough to make time for that. On the other end, the only contrarian thing I'll say to that is I think famous people are the only people that understand what you're going through, truly. So I think, like, they're the only ones that can deal with maybe the jealousy of, like, all the holler-outs.
It's either that or I think you need someone who's just your champion, your big fan,
you're
or
rock.
whatever.
Yeah, you're rock at home. No, I agree. Okay, only other side note. What's up?
Your last little sports ball story.
Oh, yeah, no, I said a little side note. Big Ten football college, they canceled their entire season. So we're going to see if all the other colleges kind of...
Shocked.
No, actually, I'm going to see if the other colleges follow suit, because I don't. How do you play a season with some people playing and some people not?
I know.
And it doesn't seem like they figured out the bubble system even for the pros, let alone trying to like do it with like a bunch of like 17, 18, 19-year-old punks. Like, I just think that would be really difficult.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. So
and like supposedly going like having online classes and everything and all that. I don't know.
Hey, Matt, appreciate you hanging in, man. Appreciate you coming to the show. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here soon. Anyway, our show we got a couple more things to talk about, but if you got to roll, you got to roll, man. Appreciate you hanging in as always. Last little segment here we want to do. We want to talk about this for a second.
Yeah. Been waiting for this one.
Yeah, go ahead and drop it in on him here.
All right, hold on. Let me prep this thing right.
Yeah, get it on this.
Boom.
Okay.
All right.
Lamb thought this was a cool story, and once he explained it to me, I thought I would hate it, but now I love it.
Yeah. So apparently, there's one Blockbuster left in Bend, Oregon, as far as I can tell. Mm-hmm. And they are putting their Blockbuster up on Airbnb.
Wow.
Now, $4 a night.
What?
They said they're only doing 3-night special, but here, let me back this thing up so I can pause it.
That looks like a Karen, dude. I'm surprised she's so excited about giving her place.
So here's the spot you get. You get a couch that pulls out. They said there's an air mattress and some chairs and stuff like that. And the TV set up and the console, and they got a VHS player, they got DVD player, Blu-ray, and you can use anything in the store and watch whatever you want.
Here's first two questions. One, they need a better TV. That shit looks way small for the Blockbuster.
I think it's supposed to be
like
old school. I think it's supposed to be like 90s style, like a little
more
square.
But wow, can you believe that? Malcolm leaves and Paul shows up. How about that?
Paul can smell it.
Paul can feel
the band hammer needed to be in effect. Paul had to grab it.
Yeah, that's right. Paul, welcome back, man. We're almost wrapping the show up, but I appreciate.
I know you're not an Avengers fan, but that's pretty much the equivalent of the Thor, Captain America scene in Avengers Endgame. If you're not familiar, check it out. Paul, I'm assuming you know about this.
Let me give you a rim shot because I don't know what the hell we're talking about, but I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
So $4 a night, I get to stay in the Blockbuster. There's a fold-out couch. Yep. There's an air mattress that blows up. And I also saw some goodies and snacks.
Yeah, you get snacks. You can buy snacks there. You get movies.
Who in the chat wouldn't want to spend $4 or $5 with a significant other to roll and watch? I would, but you got to do it all nighter, dude. I think that's the only way it's even worth it, right?
My thought is, did they have consoles?
What, playing video games as well?
Like old school console. Like you tell me, I would have the blast of blasts playing, like if they had like a Super Nintendo, a Genesis, like a Nintendo all hooked up there.
This isn't a bad idea in general.
I would love it if there were hotels like this
that
just had rooms, like just nostalgia rooms.
I was just about to say the same thing. Like we have all these escape rooms here in LA where you can go for an hour and they give you all these crazy.
Copyright.
There you go. Let's copyright this idea. Well, you can go and they give you all these crazy puzzles you got to solve and try and get out of the room. If they had a room where you could go and spend the night, but it was like you said, video game theme, they had all the consoles, or there was movie themes and they had infinite movies or whatever, man, people would absolutely do that, man. Oh, we're going to what are you guys doing? Oh, we're all going
slumber
to
party, slumber time.
Yeah, whatever. They had a place that you could. So they maybe only had like 5 or 6 rooms they rented out, but it was all something like this. I guarantee people would pay for it.
Oh my god, yeah.
I love this idea.
Split it with a bunch of friends.
There's nothing stopping.
Like for your birthday, that wouldn't be like a fucking.
Yeah.
The problem is like doing it at your house is great, but you need to have all this stuff.
I was just gonna say, there's nothing stopping me from going out and renting all the movies I want and doing this in my own house. But as anything,
it's a one-off. I want to do it once in a while.
The second I step out of my house, I feel like I'm doing something different, right? And even if it's the exact same thing I would do, but it's in somebody else's house.
Roll up there with a bag full of snacks, and there's like a microwave, and they got like pizza rolls or something. Like it just.
What if you gotta like constantly all night deal with the people showing up, like knocking on the window, thinking you're still open?
You're like, hey, guys, what are you doing in there?
We're watching the whole Harry Potter series. F off.
Yeah, like, I'm trying start to finish.
Yeah, what would you watch in here? For me,
I don't know if video games would be my number one.
But video games aren't there. Old school. I'm going all nostalgia. I'm going only like 90s movies if I'm in there.
I'm a little older, so I'd probably think those like late 80s, like the stupid, like, well, not stupid, but like those just silly, like comedy movies.
I'm looking for like Rush Hour.
I'm talking like Bill and Ted.
Okay, Bill and Ted.
I'm talking like Home Alone.
Yeah, okay.
Like, because if they got the nostalgia section going,
I'm looking for like maybe later than that. Maybe not even 90s, like Men in Black. Maybe some like
Independence Day,
Eddie Murphy stuff. Ooh. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Martin Lawrence stuff.
Yeah, for me, I'm like 48 Hours.
Yeah, right.
Like,
any of that.
I love that Beverly Hills Cop.
I just think
I love that.
$4 a night. There you go, guys. You can go spend a whole night in a Blockbuster. You said right now they're sold out or something?
Yeah, there's only 3 nights they did it for.
Okay.
And they sold those immediately.
I'm sure they would. If they did it again, I'm sure they could sell like, I literally think they could charge like $100 and somebody would still do it.
Every night.
And
make money. Just like.
Easy day. All right, guys, moving on to the final segment here. I got to do one every single week, but
Petty Story of the Week.
That's right. We got to do the petty story of the week here. Let me see here. What we got going here? I actually really liked this petty story. I didn't tell you this one, but this was a pretty good one. So this story, I have never quite experienced this, but I've experienced loud neighbors. I've experienced neighbors with crazy dogs. I've been a crazy neighbor to other people, I'm sure. So this person, they had new neighbors move in. They seemed they were really nice enough people. They said they talked to them. They were all good people. But in that house, his next door neighbor, the husband traveled a lot. So the wife was kind of just afraid of everything, and that's not pretty normal, I guess, but she's afraid of the dark, thunderstorms, all of it. So the husband's idea was that they were going to have these floodlights on the front of the house near the garage, bright floodlights, and they were going to keep them on all day, all night. That way it made her feel safe. The problem was the way they were positioned, they shined right into the bedroom. So the couple really tried to accommodate. They tried to get blackout curtains. They didn't work. They tried to politely ask them several times if they could maybe turn them in a different direction or they could just turn them off at night. Again, they were kind of ignored, and then at one point it got to kind of an argument, and the people adamantly refused. He said they even offered to pay for a timer, which at maybe 10 p.m. these things would shut off. But I think, honestly, to the core, the lady just thought if they had the lights on, it'd keep her safer or maybe just make her feel better. So the solution this guy arrived at was that one night when it was late and they weren't looking, he went out there and he just slightly unscrewed all of them. He didn't take them out. He didn't break them. He said there was multiple nights he was so pissed he just aimed a BB gun at it and thought of how fun it would be to blow them away, but he didn't. So he said he slightly loosened them all up. And he said that about 5-6 months went by before she realized they were even not on. Like that's how little she even checked, even that they were working. She said, and then all of a sudden one night they were back on, so it was obviously screwed them in. He said, I waited a couple of weeks, and I went out there and I unscrewed them again. So he said then after 2 or 3 months went by, he said he was outside cutting the grass, and the neighbor asked him, she was like, hey, do you ever have any trouble with your outdoor lights? And he said, I've been waiting on this. He said, yeah. He said, you know what? like every couple of weeks or every couple of months, they like unscrew themselves. He was like, you know what? I think it's maybe the traffic or something that goes by, the vibrations are unscrewing them. She's like, the same thing is happening to me. And he said, yeah. He said, you just got to go out like every 3 to 4 months and tighten them. And she's like, all right, fantastic. And he said that ever since then, he gets like 3 to 4 months with no light. And then she turns them on for a couple of days and he turns them right back off. So I just love that. I thought
Love it.
I know. I thought that was really petty, but a really great way to handle it. Like I've asked you 100 times to turn them off. You're not going to turn them off. Now, contrary into that story is only that, like, I do understand lights make it safer there, but look, man, if you're in somebody's window, dude, you got to just fix it, you know? I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's cruddy. But I do love the guy's reaction to not break anything and just handle it as a very passive-aggressive way.
Well, obviously, like, he immediately knew. If it was, like, one night and she turned it back on, all right. But just months go by and she doesn't even notice that they're not on.
Yeah,
like,
it's ridiculous.
At that point, you should just be smashing them.
That's for sure. For sure. Anything else, Lamb, you want to get into today?
I don't think so, other than thanking Paul for actually finally showing up.
That's right. Appreciate that. And everybody else, man, we've had some people that have really hung in here for the whole show. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Apparently we're getting the wrap it up sign, the red lights on over here, the crew chief.
Crew chief's telling us to wrap this show up. No, we've had a really good time with you guys today. As always, I love that you guys hang in here. I love that you guys throw stuff in the chat and have a good time with us. We really do hope we were able to bring something to you guys that is fun, enjoyable all the way through. We try and dig deep for some fun, interesting stories that maybe you missed. If it is your first time, second time, third time hanging in with us, every Monday, every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern time. You can follow us along at the Two Dumb Idiots podcast on Twitch. Literally that, Two Dumb Idiots podcast on Twitch. And if this is your first time on the stream, you can actually link your Amazon Prime, if you have one, to this Twitch account. And then you can hit subscribe. And for free will give us monthly revenue. It won't cost you a nickel. So if you guys have time, do that. It is kind of complicated. And the fact that it takes you more than 30 seconds, other than that, is very, very simple. Really, really appreciate it. Other than that, man, we really appreciate you guys hanging out with us, man. I don't think I missed anything, right?
I think we hit it all.
I think we hit it all. What's the one thing you learned today?
Today I learned...
We gotta wrap it up. What did I learn?
Let's wrap it up on this thing. I was unprepared for this. I
sorry.
wasn't thinking about any of this during the show.
I know. I just thought, like, God, we took away a lot today. I know. I'll start here.
All right, you start.
I learned a lot about the Uber situation. For me, I didn't realize, like, I knew that companies could be independent contractors or employees. I just didn't know how vague the laws were deciding that. Like, I didn't realize there really is an almost an incredible amount of control in the company rather than compared to just like by the law. You know, the 3 vague rules that I read were like the only real guidelines. So that was kind of something I learned.
I learned I'm not as good at geography as I thought I was.
I learned I'm worse at geography than I thought I was. But I did find Montana and Iowa, so I think that's really...
Multiple times found Montana. Definitely found them all.
I found all the Montanas. Yeah. So anyway, guys, I appreciate if you guys learned something. Let us know. If you guys have something cool that you do in your spare time, you want to show it off, hit us up. If you guys have a story that you want to see covered, we have a lot of listeners that send us stuff like that they want to hear talked about in the show. Go ahead and send us over. Other than that, we really appreciate you guys. If you like the show, tell a friend, man. That's really the only thing we can ask of our listeners. If you like it, tell a friend. I've had some people say they've told their family and stuff, and we've had some family jump in and really appreciate that. So if you like it, share it. Tell people, hey, man, this is a cool little show. They keep it positive and they talk about some fun subjects.
And be ready for Monday. We got some big announcements coming.
That's right. Monday we got a really nice guest coming in. Should help us talk about kind of what it's like to run his own business. Have merchandise. He's going to talk us a little bit, maybe some physical fitness tips. Maybe we'll talk tattoos. I don't know what we're going to talk about.
Might have a push-up challenge or something. Who knows?
I hope not. But anyway, it should be a really good show Monday. If you guys have time, Monday at 4 or 7, depending where you're at. Maybe 6. I don't know. Maybe if you're in one of the Montanas, So anyway, folks, I am Nick.
I'm Kevin.
We're the Two Dumb Idiots. We thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love you guys, and we will be here Monday. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I mean...
guys, another great clip from our live stream. Make sure you check us out on Twitch.
Bow! And, check us out on our podcast as well, wherever podcasts are podcasting.
Don't forget to subscribe. I think it's over there.